We begin today's show with a chance to bid adieu to a frequent guest on The Source. Dale Davis has retired as the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters North and West Niagara. Dale, congratulations on your retirement. I have to say this because people said this to me in June when I retired from my teaching career. You're too young to retire.
Thank you, Mike. What a great way to start the interview.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
What prompted you to make that decision?
A lot of decisions sort of were made during COVID, as you and I just previously chatted about. I think it gave so many people an opportunity to look inward and reflect. And I think my response to that is going to be sort of all roads after looking at the variables to make the decision pointed to retirement. Or let me put it this way, a new journey, the second act, and it was time. I've put close to 20 years in at Big Brothers Big Sisters. I've had, when I look back, quite a legacy of service to Niagara community in so many different ways, both volunteering and giving of my time, talent, and resources to Big Brothers Big Sisters, which was such a calling. I just really felt that's where I belonged. And I think when you have that kind of passion, it's not work. It's bigger than that. It's part of you. It's who you are, and you're passionate about it. And so I consider it a gift, and I was really blessed.
Some people are so linked to the job that they're known for, especially when it comes to the nonprofit sector here in Niagara.
Yes.
And you are one of them.
Thank you, Mike.
What can you say about what you accomplished over almost 20 years? What are some of the big successes?
Well, I love, that's a great question, and thank you for that. You know, the comparison response is a great one for people to get context. In 2003, when I was hired at that point as executive director, I walked in and there was only 4 of us. There was no front reception person, and they had AOL dial-up. I can just imagine some of the demographics out there going, what was that?
Yes.
Right? So we had caseworkers and myself, and we were just doing everything. And I couldn't believe it. We had to wait in line to see what emails were coming through. So when you think of 2003, and a couple of events to build the revenues, and all through those years we designed, developed, and innovated new programming with our school partners across both boards. We were in 60 schools at one point. We went from 200 children that year to about 1,100. We went from a staff of 4, which included me, to 14. So our partners grew, our donors grew. United Way's been a great funder all those years. So and the donors have been with us for such a long time. They became friends of mine. But our events grew from Bowl for Kids' Sake campaign, which YourTV was such a big part of helping to grow. The highlights for me when I came, they had just purchased the building at 428 Niagara, wasn't paid off yet. And we worked really hard to repurpose all the revenues we made through our events to pay off the building. And I remember we had a mortgage burning party at my house. We were so elated when we broke $100,000 at bowling. I think, YourTV filmed us dancing, and we were so excited to make that kind of money and put it all back to the programs. The acquisition of our Go Girls Game On program for the schools, partnering with Ridley to do Big Bunch for kids on the wait list. I think the other highlight, as I sort of tapered off my career, if you want to look at it that way, was sort of the coming together with the Grimsby Lincoln West Lincoln
Let's
operation.
talk a little bit about that merger, because that is an important step in the life of Big Brothers.
It was, Mike, and COVID, the impact on the charitable sector is going to be huge. It's going to call upon the boards of directors in the not-for-profit sector to have a lot of courage and vision, and say we've got to do things that are best for our community and the people that we serve.
Do you think COVID will force more mergers of like-minded nonprofit organizations in the region?
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt. And I think it's prudent. I think it's wise. I think it's innovative to motivate yourself to have those discussions, to talk about how we can do our work in a better way without sacrificing quality to the clients you're serving, whether they're children and youth, whether they're cancer patients, whatever it is. mental health, whatever that is, look for your partners, look for the alignment of your work culture and your mission and vision, but the opportunities are out there.
On a more personal note, can you outline a situation over your time there where you've seen a little brother or sister move on to become a big brother or sister?
Oh my God, we have so many memories. I mean, 20 years, serving 900 to 1,000 kids, I've got to meet a lot of them. I've watched them grow up in front of me. I think there's a lot of them that were little sisters and little brothers that became bigs wherever they went. Not all of them stayed in Niagara when they pursued higher education. They might have moved to other communities, but I loved hearing from them where they kept volunteering and they chose our experience to stay as a volunteer wherever they lived. I think the most poignant moments and memorable for me are those littles that won our CIBC scholarships. Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies in Canada were very privileged to partner with CIBC, and they designed an incredible scholarship program, fully funded, for little brothers and little sisters that earned the privilege to compete and be chosen to get those scholarships at the university or post-secondary education institution of their choice. So our kids, we were blessed almost every year, one of our children, and they had to write their own sort of thesis, Mike,
Yes.
to get chosen. But I would be asked to go to Toronto and in the boardroom at CIBC, and at one point the CEO came out and presented the children with a plaque and was so proud of them. And their big brother, big sister had to write a letter of support. Why this child, how did they earn it, what did they do, what were their values? And that was huge. That was huge for me to see them.
During our conversation here today, you've had a chance to reflect, but you've also looked towards the future of the organization.
Yes.
I'm interested in knowing what the future holds for Dale Davis.
Future holds for me, I know the agency is going to be left very strong, great board, great staff, talented staff. And like you and I talked about previously, things will look different, but exciting and new. I think for me, in the second act, the adventure will include travel, given COVID, hoping and hoping, but it can also include a lot of Canadian travel I'd love to do with friends and family. I have developed some friendships that are new and wonderful and rich for me in Collingwood. So I split my time between the two areas that are both beautiful in terms of nature and environment, hiking, walking. I have an old house, so I'm going to look forward to finally having the time to bring it back to its old glory, if you will. So I want to take time to read. But really, Mike, I think a lot of my friends that are retired, I don't want to be in a hurry to think I'm missing something, because my bucket list, I've always lived my bucket list, which included what I knew was important, my friends, my family, my work, which never felt like work because I met the greatest people in the world in Niagara community that are friends to this day. So my bucket list is not to be done, it's ongoing every day.
It's a great way to look at it, Dale. Congratulations
Thanks,
once again on your
Mike.
retirement.
And thanks to YourTV and you for asking the great questions and for taking such an interest in our organization over the years.